So the question is, my boyfriend has never been in a long-term committed relationship. We currently don't live together. We are the same age. On the other hand, I have been in several 5+ years relationships. I've lived with two of my exes. My last ex I lived with for almost 6 years. My current boyfriend doesn't understand why I don't feel emotionally connected to him. It feels like he's out of the honeymoon phase and isn't paying as much attention to me anymore. He's constantly on his phone and distracted. He might hold my hand, but not give me much attention. I've tried to openly communicate all of my needs to him, but he gets defensive and hurt because he feels like he's a bad partner. How can I better communicate and continue to grow our relationship? I feel like I'm coaching him on how to be in a serious relationship. I am tired of always being the leader. I want my male partner to be the man in the relationship. He doesn't understand the relationship. Take work. Love is the bare minimum. It doesn't mean the relationship is healthy. If you did not know that, women, we need more quality time. We need more connection because closeness is our need. Closeness is something that our nervous system needs. It makes us literally feel safe. So the amount of time that we desire for relationship and for connection is larger than it is for men. Closeness is not their need. This is not something they need. So it's important to understand that yes, there is difference in a desire of the quality time. Now, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to find a middle ground. And one thing that I always teach women is you have to build a solid foundation for your life. Not from a standpoint that while I'm single, I need to keep myself busy. But the moment I'm not single, oh boy, I'm going to dedicate and put all of the time into my partner. Right? No, you need to have your solid foundation when you're single. You need to have your solid foundation when you're dating. You need to have your solid foundation, especially when you are in a relationship. And why is that? The reason why is because when you get into relationship, it's very invisible process how you becoming entangled into all of the household responsibilities, little things here, little things there, how you becoming deeply involved into your partner's life, his hobbies, his friends, his interests, his all of that. And if you don't have your rich, delicious, fulfilled life, if you don't have your solid core as a woman, what will happen? Relationship is going to consume all of that space. And that's how we ended up in a relationship where we are deeply unhappy and terrified to leave. Because we holding on not to the man and not to the most incredible love ever, where you have not been talking to your partner for several years. It's not about love anymore. It's about the terrifying fear of stepping out of this and realizing, where am I? What am I? And how I'm going to put together my life. And even a question mark, well, what do I like? Where to put all this time? And that's why for us, for women, and this is at the core of what I teach, it is incredibly important for us to throw away old mentality and old stories, which were true sometimes a couple hundred years ago, but not anymore. That we need a man or relationship to make us feel whole, to make us feel complete, to make us feel valuable. That only when I have a boyfriend, I'm going to be happy. Only then. And for now, I'm just going to, hold my happiness because it doesn't work that way and it backfires. Anyone who been in a relationship or attempted to build a long-term relationship, you all know the more attention you put onto your man and your relationship, the bigger problem starts happening in your relationship. I like of this metaphor of a beautiful, delicious, the most incredible cake. And that cake is you. And he is enjoying that cake at the beginning. It is incredibly exotic with the most delicious taste and the most delicious flavors cake. Right? He enjoys that cake for a month, for two, for three, for six, for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years. And then what happens? It's like, I cannot have that cake all the time, 24/7. It's a normal thing. It's actually not a phenomenon. It's a normal thing. The same goes with you. If you would have a boyfriend who drops his life and drops everything, and you become the center of his life, do you think you would be super interested and into him in a certain amount of time? No. So the same goes to them. Plus, it multiplied on the fact that closeness is not their need. They don't need it that much. So we need to be mindful. We need to remember this, that old formula and idea of what makes me a good partner, or I am good and I am valuable as a woman if I have a man, it's no longer a reality. I'm not saying that you don't need a relationship. You don't need a man. No, we very much need man, but we don't need it for a survival reason. And it definitely is not definition of how valuable or incredible you are. I always say that man in relationship is probably the biggest part of your life, of our life as women. But this is not the source. This is not how we access our femininity. And this is not what activates our femininity at all. This is not what sustains our femininity. And this is not what makes us valuable. Like there's a paradox. Yes, it's important. And no, it's not a key. The key is you. And the key is you knowing yourself, because when you know yourself, you actually understand what an incredible catch you are. So you no longer go on dates with those eyes looking like, who will take me? Right? You go knowing, like, no, excuse me, I am choosing, and I'm going to choose somebody who is aligned with my desires versus I need to find someone so I can start feeling better. And then I can put all my energy and into them. Coming back to the question that I would ask a person, the most important detail that I would like to know is how much time she spends in this relationship. Because if her idea of long-term relationship, we are together all the time, and I am with him all the time, and we spend every free second together, then I am not surprised that he loses interest and he's not as attentive, because she's like that cake and she simply overfed him with herself, with her presence. And that is the reality. We need to know that what keeps their interest is to have a little bit of space. Don't give him all your free time. Don't be always available. Be busy. Number one, it gives him opportunity to know that you have life, that you are desirable by other people, that you have interest. And when you come back together, you coming into relationship, into him, not hungry, where he's your only source of dopamine and endorphin and all of the happiness and the gooey and buzzing sensations. But you also have other resources that lights you up, that makes you feel great. And then you bring this delicious energy. I call it substance. You're bringing something with you and they feel it, they respond to it. I recently had a conversation with a very good friend who is in a relatively new relationship. He's a male, and he's a great, one of the best partners you possibly can have. And we were talking, and he's like, can I tell you something honestly? I am feeling a little bit sad about my relationship. And I'm like, why? She's such a sweetheart. And he's like, yeah. And she spends all the time with me. It seems like she doesn't have any life outside of this relationship. And that turns me off. This is what man said to me. So, coming back to the question, that this woman needs to create more space in her relationship. So, he actually has space to approach her. Because if she's like a cake that constantly in front of his eyes, he doesn't even have a space to approach her. So she needs to create space for him to approach her. Is this person, is this man mature enough and open to actually learn how to show up better in a relationship? Right now, I would not jump into conclusion to judge his character because he can be simply overwhelmed. This is his first serious relationship. They've been together, I'm assuming, a lot of time. They spent together a lot of time. So I would give him space and then I would watch how he would be showing up, what it is that he initiates, what it is that he does. Um, because it seems like she shared with him what it is that she expects from him, but he's not going to do it as long as she's with him all the time. So creating a space would be the number one thing, redirecting all this attention from relationship, from him not having experience, from them not spending the same amount of quality time, taking all of that energy, reminding yourself that this is not a biggest problem in your life, and putting all that energy into something else.